According to the Daily Mail, the actresses Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney are locked in a bitter feud.
In case it slipped past people, things have gotten seriously messy around Euphoria, and the vibe is very different now. The situation has clearly shifted, leaving everything feeling tense and unsettled. It's a noticeable change from before, and emotions seem to be running high across the board, overall today now.
But you don't want to hurt somebody else, you know? You don't want to hurt someone. You don't want to say something to someone that hurts them. That's not the kind of person I feel like I am.
People are saying the director basically let something real slip about what went down backstage between Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney, and now fans are looking at everything sideways. The comments have sparked confusion online, with viewers rethinking previous interviews and scenes, and speculation continues to grow across social media platforms.
Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney's feud allegedly is what caused the huge gap between Euphoria season.
What once seemed like a solid friendship is now being heavily questioned, with many suggesting it may not just be about distance or busy schedules, but something deeper that shifted the entire dynamic between them. This is not being framed as minor tension or two co-workers simply drifting apart. Instead, the way people are analyzing it online suggests there may have been a real behind-the-scenes moment that changed everything permanently. Since then, every interaction is being closely examined. Every appearance, every small gesture, and every subtle detail is now under a microscope. People are paying attention to who stands next to whom, who avoids eye contact, who speaks, and who stays quiet. Because of this, what once looked natural is now being interpreted as intentional rather than random, fueling even more speculation across social media platforms and fan discussions overall.
I feel like Euphoria is coming at a time where we as a nation really don't need it. We don't need that. I'm sorry. The world is already falling apart and we're going to war. And the way that that show makes me feel in my nervous system is like a bear is chasing me through the woods.
When you line all the clues up, it stops feeling like coincidence. The missing moments, the different energy, and the subtle distance all add up in a way that has fans convinced something serious really happened when cameras were not rolling. Whatever it was clearly left a mark on how they move around each other now. This whole situation started heating up again as the Euphoria Season 3 premiere got closer, locked in for April 12, 2026. But instead of fans focusing on the storyline, or guessing what might happen next, the attention flipped completely. People stopped talking about the plot and started zooming in on the cast, especially the energy between them, as if something behind the scenes was louder than anything happening on screen. Earlier this month, HBO dropped a teaser, and at first the reaction was pure hype. After all the delays, people were just happy to finally get something official. The excitement was real, and fans were sharing it everywhere, breaking down clips and trying to catch every detail. But then the mood shifted quickly. Viewers started noticing small things that did not sit right. And that is when the conversation took a more intense turn. Zendaya appears in a group photo shoot alongside Hunter Schafer, Alexa Demai, and Maud Apatow. They are laughing and posing, and everything looks smooth on the surface, like the cast is fully united and nothing is off. However, fans are now rewatching every frame, looking for hidden tension, awkward spacing, and subtle body language shifts that might suggest there is more going on beneath the surface than what is being shown publicly overall. But when you really look at it, people started questioning what was not being shown just as much as what was right there in front of them. And that is where the speculation began building heavily. Sydney Sweeney is not present in that group moment, and fans noticed it immediately. The absence stood out, especially in a cast that is usually seen together in promotional material. The only time she appears is in a separate solo shot, isolated from everyone else, which already had viewers raising eyebrows and asking questions online. For many, it felt unusual enough to spark discussion, even if nothing was officially confirmed or denied. Of course, there was an explanation ready. Sources stated that Sydney was busy filming a different scene at the time, which is why she could not take part in the group shoot. On the surface, that explanation makes sense and fits with production schedules, especially for a busy show like Euphoria. However, fans were not entirely convinced. Instead, people began comparing timelines, rewatching behind-the-scenes clips, and analyzing the way cast members interact in different promotional materials. Even small differences in positioning, timing, and energy are now being picked apart. What might normally be seen as a simple scheduling conflict has instead become part of a larger conversation online. As a result, every new photo or clip from the cast is now being treated like a clue. Whether intentional or not, the absence has added fuel to ongoing speculation, keeping fans focused on what might be happening behind the scenes rather than just what appears on screen.
The entitlement is insane, and you guys are praising bad behavior. The inability to work with someone you dislike means that you are a child.
On the surface, that sounds reasonable. Normal scheduling issues happen all the time during productions. But the internet did not just accept that and move on. Instead, people started side-eyeing the situation and digging deeper, because something about it did not feel random to them. A lot of fans began saying this looks way too familiar. It is a pattern they feel like they have seen before when studios are trying to manage tension between cast members. The idea, according to online speculation, is simple. Keep certain people apart, film them at different times, and make sure they are never caught in the same frame so nothing looks obvious on the outside. Once that theory started spreading, the entire scheduling conflict explanation began to feel different. What first sounded like a routine production issue started looking more calculated. Now people are openly questioning whether that separation was really about timing, or if it reflects something else happening behind the scenes that has not been made public. All of this has also made fans wonder how the situation is going to play out moving forward. If certain cast members cannot even appear in the same frame for a quick teaser, what happens when it is time for press tours, interviews, red carpets, and all those moments where they are expected to stand side by side consistently? That is where things start to feel more complicated, because any perceived tension does not disappear when the spotlight gets bigger. When you zoom out and look at everything surrounding Sydney Sweeney lately, it becomes easier for fans to start connecting dots, whether those connections are fully accurate or not. Her name has already been circulating for different reasons. So this situation just adds another layer people are stacking on top of everything else. Back in late 2025, she had the American Eagle campaign with the Great Genes tagline, which also sparked online discussion and debate.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes were blue.
Sydney Sweeney has red genes.
What might have looked like a simple fashion ad at first quickly turned into a full controversy online. A lot of people felt like the good genes wording came off tone-deaf, and some even said it stepped into uncomfortable territory, which is when her public image started shifting in a noticeable way. Then things escalated even further when that ad received praise from Donald Trump. That reaction pulled in a completely different audience and pushed the conversation into a much louder, more political space, making the situation feel even more complicated and harder to ignore. As a result, some people online began using the label MAGA Barbie, and in certain corners of the internet, that label started sticking to Sydney Sweeney whether fully fair or not. When you look at how everything unfolded step by step, it becomes easier to see why some people ran with that narrative, even if others strongly disagree or feel it is a reach. This is where Zendaya gets pulled into the conversation. She has always been very careful about her public image and the kind of energy she surrounds herself with. She moves in a very intentional way, and that has fans questioning whether she might be distancing herself from anything that could clash with that image or create unwanted association. It turns into less about one single moment and more about how everything lines up in the bigger picture people are building online. One comment said, "I do believe Zendaya doesn't want to be around Sydney because she's very big on her image and who and what she attaches herself to." Another added, "She used to speak so highly of her and Sam Levinson's friendship, but once those headlines came out, she doesn't even mention his name anymore." Another comment pushed it further, saying, "Her being MAGA is enough, let alone her being exactly what Cassie is." Someone else wrote, "Zendaya usually acts like the bigger person, but this time, why should she?" And another claimed, "Sydney is racist."
Oh gosh, it was a whirlwind. I usually did what I do in 8 months in like 4 months. Whoa. So I just was like, it was like trying to get 8 episodes in at once.
On top of everything already swirling around, there were also reports about script issues, with Zendaya having concerns about the direction of her character and pushing back on certain ideas behind the scenes. That part matters more than ever now, because she is not just acting in the show anymore. She is also an executive producer, which means she has real influence over how the story unfolds and what ultimately makes it on screen. Then things got even heavier when real-life tragedies hit the production. The loss of Angus Cloud and producer Kevin Turin forced the team to rethink major parts of the story, leading to rewrites and a noticeable shift in direction. That alone would be enough to shake up any project, but they still had to keep things moving and complete everything under pressure. After all of that, the entire season still had to be filmed in just 4 months, which is an extremely tight timeline for a show of this scale. That kind of rush can change the energy on set, affect performances, and make every decision feel more intense, especially with fan expectations already running high. But what really has people paying closer attention now is how the storylines are reportedly set up this season. There is an extra layer that keeps coming up in conversations, even though nothing has been officially confirmed, and that mystery is what keeps people watching every move more closely. Then there is the Tom Holland angle, which only made things feel more complicated. The story floating around is that Tom was visiting the set fairly often, and people started noticing small interactions between him and Sydney Sweeney. Nothing is confirmed, but in situations like this, even minor moments get magnified online. It also did not help that Sydney had previously liked some thirst tweets about Tom Holland, which fans quickly remembered. That alone was enough for some people to start stirring narratives, even telling Zendaya to watch her man, pushing the conversation into a more dramatic space than it may deserve. At the same time, not everyone agrees with that interpretation. Some are pushing back and redirecting attention. One comment said, "Zendaya is not mad at Sydney over Tom Holland thirst tweets. She's grossed out by her refusal to denounce MAGA and rumored racism," shifting focus back to Sydney's broader controversies instead of relationship speculation. So now everything feels layered and unclear. Nothing is confirmed, but the overall energy online feels tense enough that people keep digging. The teaser felt off to many viewers, and even the separation in appearances is being read as intentional by some. With the premiere getting closer, all eyes will be on press tours, red carpets, and interviews, where even subtle body language, timing, or positioning will be heavily analyzed. At this point, the situation feels like a mix of coincidence, speculation, and interpretation, depending on who is watching.